Hi everyone, welcome to today's videocast. So today's videocast is on parenting, and I'm not going to comment on anybody's parenting. I have no right to do that. But we often take parenting as a gender-based role, which I think it is not. It's more of a life skill, and life skills like dressing is a life skill, so we need to know details about it. So in that same notion and with the same idea, I think parenting is a life skill. I believe, and we have to know details about it. So parenting is dependent on two aspects. One is responsiveness of the parent, and the other is demandingness of the parent. So, responsiveness here is how you respond to your child's thought, behavior, and how it goes. And the other one, which is the demandingness, what demands you're imposing on your ward or on your child. And when you're hearing this video cast on parenting, it is not only going to help you to understand your parenting style, you can also have an estimation of how your parents have been, what style they adopted, and how you want to carry forward the parenting style that you are currently adopting. And even if you are a therapist or a teacher, it's basically how you handle the students in your class. So that's is also going to be this particular video cast is also going to help you in that direction. So let's begin. So there are four types of parenting dominantly. One is authoritative, other is authoritarian, third one is neglected or uninvolved parenting, and the fourth one is permissive. So these are like words which are very self-explanatory, but we are going to talk about them on the two aspects which I talked about just a few minutes ago, that is responsiveness by the parent and demandingness by the parent. So let's talk about the first parenting style, that is authoritative. So here the parent has clear communications and clear expectations from the child with the child. Now parents are very understanding, and the parent is going to have a very understanding attitude. He or she is very flexible in the approach, and they help the child to reflect on to their decision making or to reflect on to their mistakes. So if the child is failing in the examination, the parent is going to be helping the child to reflect, not pointing or jiving at the child. So here the parent is having balanced demandingness and a very high and moderated responsiveness towards the child. Next is authoritarian. So do listen to this one. Now the parents have very strict rules, norms, and agendas, and the communication is one way. One way means that the parent is only directing the child. So there is no two-way communication. So when the decision making comes, it's the parent's decision. Then there is very low responsiveness to the child's feeling, behaviors, the thoughts of the child, the perspective of the child. So there is low responsiveness, but there is very high demandingness in this case. So in this kind of a parenting, the child will have lot of hidden inner trauma, and the child will not connect very strongly. So this is about authoritarian. Okay. Next is permissive parenting. Now this type of parenting is very loose and very open. So very open communication again. There are no rules and there are no directions given. So reflection would not be provided in the same way as it is provided in the authoritative. So that means there are very low demands on the child and very high responsiveness. So what I mean by this is that the child is being kept happy by the parent at their own expense. And the parent is like a friend to the child, and he's always avoiding the clashes and conflicts. So that's why I'm saying there is very low demandingness, and very means it's going to little unbalanced way of responsiveness. Then the child is only going to decide for themselves because there are no directions being given. So that is why I said very loose parenting. Next and the last one is uninvolved and neglected. And listen to this one also very carefully. Now, often this kind of a parent is overwhelmed with their own struggles, maybe with their own trauma, and they are busy and preoccupied with other things. So that's why they will be able to give or put little attention plus little guidance towards the child, whatever he or she is trying to do. So the parent might have issues with their own self-esteem. That is why they are getting neglected. That is why they're offering neglected or uninvolved parenting. And also the parent will turn out to be less caring, and this will not happen intentionally that I have this attitude that I will be less careful about the child because I am more occupied with my own struggles. So that's why this is uninvolved. So here there is very low demandingness and I think negligible demandingness and negligible responsiveness. So we have four dominant styles. These are there. So nowadays we talk about co-parenting and we talk about equal parenting. So that should always be kept in mind and it is very important. That is why I said it's not a gender biased role. It is a life skill and that is why we are getting into the details of it. So which one is the best? That is for you to decide. So I'm just giving you the idea of four kind of parentings, which one you want to adopt. I have told you the aspect of demandingness and responsiveness. So this should be in your mind. So it can be a mix of more than one kind of parenting. You can be authoritative and you can be permissive as well. So you take the aspect. Or you can be authoritative or authoritative. So it's up to you what mix you want to adopt or you just want to adopt one style. So just this thing is to be there that there has to be moderation. There has to be balance of responsiveness and demandingness. You cannot be too responsive or you cannot be too demanding. And lastly, I would like to mention is this was one thing about parenting. Now, there is one more thing which comes in parenting which we should be aware of and we need to talk more. And someday I can talk more about this. Lot of things are passed on to us from our parents. Definitely the genes, our physical appearance, maybe certain behaviors, our talking style, maybe our culture. But there is one more thing which we usually forget and which we do not talk about, which is being happening since long, is intergenerational trauma. So we can talk about this sometime later, but I just want you to understand if you don't know what is intergenerational trauma, try finding about it, try researching about it. So we need to talk about intergenerational trauma definitely when we come to the life skill of parenting because this can, if this is not being taken into consideration, then the child who has suffered or we have suffered intergenerational trauma will have lot of low self-esteem issues, anxiety issues. The child would have concerns with body image, would be depressed or depression would be there, and so many other things are there. So that's my bit on the most important life skill, just like dressing, eating, that is parenting. So it's a life skill. And I hope you liked my video cast on this special topic. So thank you for listening to me and see you soon with another one. Bye.